Shalom, shalom. I want to give all praises to the one true power, Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahushai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. Yahweh is the Most High God, and Yahushai is who the world innately calls Jesus the Christ. The Rakakwadash is the Holy Spirit in the Paleo Hebrew. And double honors to the elders, a great millstone who rule well through the Spirit, teaching this word and believing this word, Lord, and they can continue to endure and be sincere. In a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect, who's teaching this word and believing this word in the same spirit that they endure and be sincere. And shalom to the Akwatiyam that are believers of the faith. Lord willing, you can continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, the Most I have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not in the faith. This is another morning motivation. You know, hearing the word and reading, you know, and I came across this one verse and it stuck with me, you know, throughout my night of working, you know, and of course my mind run a mile a minute. I had to go write it down just to keep a note, like, remember this, right? Because even though I get that verse, I still got to have scriptures keep moving and moving, working a full-time shift. I need scriptures flowing and flowing. So praise to Yahweh Shem Shai that I was able to have that moving motion to bring this out. So instead of just bringing out the one verse, this is only 6 verses in this chapter. This is Psalms 111, right? The point is verse 4, but I'm going to read verse 1 to 6. The title of it says, The Greatness of God's Work. It says, Praise ye the Lord Yahweh. I will praise the Lord Yahweh with my whole heart, in the assembly of the upright, the righteous, in the congregation. The works of the Lord Yahweh are great, sought out of all them that have pleasure in them. Right? That means somebody is seeking out all the works of the Lord because they have pleasure in them. It says his works is honorable and glorious. His righteousness endure forever. He hath made his wonderful works to be remembered. The Lord Yahweh is gracious and full of compassion. He hath given meat unto them that fear him. He will ever be mindful of his covenant. He hath showed his people the power of his works, that he may give them the heritage of the heathen. So I wanted really to talk about he have made his wonderful works to be remembered. The Lord Yahweh is gracious and full of compassion, right? So how is the Lord making his wonderful works be remembered? Now, the precept I have in mind is 1 Samuel 9:9. You know, the prophets who were seers in aforetime, which a seer is a visionary, those prophets is back today and they're teaching, bringing out this word. When I was a little kid, I was born in 1991, the prophets was out. Knowledge increased like around the late 1950s to 1969, all the way till now. It truly increased where we know in the name of the Father, get into the prophecies, the parables, the dark sayings, and look at camps rising. It was the camps of the Sadducees, camps of the Pharisees, right? Camps of the prophets, camps of the false prophets, camps of the apostles, right? And a lot of brothers became pupils or disciples, really a learner of this thing before the Lord moved him to teach this word. This is how we slowly are starting to remember. Right, this is another one. I'll get this classic we always bring out. When you go to Judges 5:11, it says, And they that are delivered from the noise of the archers in the places of drawing water, right? And those noise archers is those missiles on this side, right? It says, There shall they rehearse the righteous acts of the Lord Yahweh, right? The righteous acts, it yes, is going into the law, but the righteous acts is reading this word, right? Because before the word was verbal, and then it had to get written down. The Lord told us to keep a record. So now we're able to go into these writings and to teach our brothers and sisters the truth, right? The righteous acts of the Lord Yahweh, even the righteous acts toward the inhabitants of his villages in Israel, then shall the people of the Lord Yahweh go down to the gates, right? And I'm going to get another one because it wouldn't be established. Like if I had my other book, the Rose Bible, where it shows you we were writing on stone, animal skin, pyrex, clay, parchment paper, right? And then eventually now it like fully got on paper. Let's go to 2nd Esdras, the 15th chapter, verse 1 and 2. It says, behold, speak thou in the ears of my people the words of prophecy, right? And this is a prophecy because later on, these scriptures was written on paper. And so many other things that we could talk about the wonders of the Lord. It comes with prophecies, parables, dark saying, the sincere milk, the things that the Lord, hey, he made me and you, made all these nations, and we can go in the scriptures to find this out. It's so much confusion. You'll be like, man, those nations is not back on the earth. When we go to Ecclesiastes, believe the 3rd chapter, or is it the 4th chapter, verse 16, is no done away with those people that was before. And those people had a nation. They had a nationality, better words to say. So, speaking to my people, the words of prophecy, which I will put in thy mouth, saith the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahushai, and cause them to be written on paper, for they are faithful and true. So if you have faith, you're going to know the Lord is going to draw you to listen to the men of the Lord. And then the more you see how eloquent, you like, oh man, look at them. It's just like you looking at, oh man, I want to be a rapper. And then you start influencing, the Lord start influencing you to be like them. I want to be like you, but it's really you reflecting on Yahushai as a man, right? Because whatever Yahushai did, he laid himself down for the people. You got 1 John 3 and 16, then you got 1 John 2 and 6, right? If we want to abide in him, we ought to walk like Yahushai. Yahushai was teaching his word, right? So the Lord is going to put this word in your mouth because you're going to be drawn to it. And then it's going to enable, like 1 Timothy 1 and 12, he's enabling you to teach. Some of us are just enabled to hear the word. We're not no teachers. We probably don't have the ability to read good or talk, but we truly believe he enabled you in the ministry by your faith, but did he enable you in the ministry by your faith, and he's using you to teach this word? You know, that right there is a miracle of Yahweh Shem Yahushai, right? Psalms 11 verse 4 again, he hath made his wonderful works to be remembered. The Lord Yahweh is gracious and full of compassion, right? Now, I got to go to this one because part of that marvelous work is that he gave his children a name. Where did I want to go? Salaki family, where did I wanted to go? Oh, yeah, Salaki. Too many precepts in the head. Stay right where you wanted to go. Stay right where you wanted to go. This Baruch chapter 2 in verse 30, it says, for I knew that they would not hear me because it is a stiff-necked people, but in the land of their captivities they shall remember themselves, right? And us remembering ourselves is remembering what happened to us, what we went through, and who we are. To know who we are, that came from the Father. What we went through is all the Lord. The three holy children. This was all by the Lord. Right? Baruch chapter 4 verse 6. Because if we go back to Psalms 111 verse 4, he hath made his wonderful works to be remembered. Right? Putting us in captivity, selling us to the nations is a wonderful work by Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Right? Because this was a discipline. This was a whooping. Right? This was supposed to afflict you to get you right back on the path of the narrow path, back to the Heavenly Father and his Son. Right? Baruch chapter 4, verse 6. I'll start at 5. It says, be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. Right? The memorial of Israel. Ye were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because ye move God to wrath, ye were delivered unto the enemies. Right? You know what's even fire that just hit me? Joseph was sold to the Egyptians just to usher us in to the prophecy that was given to Abraham, that his descendants, his seed, would go into be in captivity into a land that's not theirs. Egypt, man. And guess what? you sum up Israel after Joseph, because after that act of Joseph, that was going to open up that door for them to go into captivity. So guess what? A lot of our history is, yeah, we had moments when we was in rulership, right? Under King David and Solomon, and then other wicked kings, right? But you got the other part when the exile Babylon, then the Persian Medes, the Greeks, then the Rome, and then look where we at now. And other nations touched us too. Moab, the Ammonites, the Muslims, African booty scratchers, right? Many nations touched us, right? And that's part of our history, but that's all by the wonder of Yahweh Hashem Yahushai. For verse 7, for ye provoked him that made you by sacrificing unto devils and not unto God, right? So back to Psalms 111, verse 4, he hath made his wonderful works to be remembered. The Lord Yahweh is gracious and full of compassion. This is why we should be fearing Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, right? He's the one that we should be fearing. I just want to see if this is a side precept I want. Let me see. Let me just read it. This is Psalms 86, verse 5. For thou, Lord, art good and ready to forgive, and plenteous in mercy unto all them that call upon thee. And even when we go back to Baruch, those that's going to call upon him is going to call upon his actual name. You know, I'm going straight raw, because when Moses got his name, he didn't get the dainty name. He got the actual name. So when we come back to remember the wonders of the Lord, that wonder is that the Lord gave us his name. So when you look at the word Lord and God, it don't hit you like, you know, man, that ain't even it. But he gave us his real name, Yahweh. When Yahushai was here, the Lord gave us his son name, Yahushai, through the angel of Gabriel. You know? So this is Baruch chapter 2, verse 32. It says, and they shall praise me in the land of their captivity, and think upon my name, and return from their stiff neck and from their wicked deeds. For they shall remember the way of their fathers, which sin before the Lord. How are we going to remember? Is because the Lord is going to draw you to read. Right? When we see, St. John 5 and 39. You know, we read the scriptures thinking we're going to have eternal life. But the scriptures lead us to Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahushai. Revelations 1 and 3, blessed is he that readeth, because you're going to grow in this wisdom. Right? When we go to Daniel 2, the Lord reveal his wisdom to the wise, starting with the men. That's why it's a privilege to be in this truth. Right? A privilege. Let me just get this side. Let me see something real quick. Please bear with me, family. Please bear with me. Let me see. Okay, even more. Let's read this one. This is Exodus chapter 12, verse 26 to 27. It says, and it shall come to pass when your children shall say unto you, what mean by this service? That ye shall say, it is the sacrifice of the Lord's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he smote the Egyptians and delivered our house. And the people bowed their head in worship. Now, a lot of us come in this truth, even as adults. We didn't even get taught by our parents, right? But we come in and you start hearing this word like, oh, we the Israelites. Then it draws you to start reading, and then you find out your history. You find out your history, and then now you start telling your family, oh, Moses this, and then you showing them the dream, or you showing them movies on it, and they like, wait, hold on, wait, what does Passover mean? And I'm speaking to you as a kid, because even if I tell my kids Purim, when I first told them, they didn't know what it is. I had to teach them, because they'd be like, wait, well, we got to do these high holy days. We can't do holidays. And they'd be like, so if we can't do holidays, then what can we do? Now they just asked me. Now I got to teach them. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verse 1 down. right? The Lord told us to teach our children, right? Even more, that's a wonderful work. He killed all the firstborn of all the Egyptians. It didn't kill us. That's a wonder that we want to teach our household. What happened to Esther? They was Mordecai was about not Mordecai. Haman was about to kill the Jews. You know, and the Lord did a double whammy, and he died by his own demise, by his own weapon, right, by his own device, right. And then later on, the Lord tried to bring forth an alliance with the Persians, because later on he was going to raise up Cyrus, the anointed one, who he anointed to be a king to let, you know, Israel go, rebuild the ruins of Israel, man. That was all a wonder of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, because it's in the scriptures. Let me get this. Let me get this real quick. Instead of just reading the one verse, let me give you Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter. Deuteronomy, the 4th chapter. Verse 9 is the point. But we'll start at verse 5. It says, "Behold, I have taught you statutes and judgment, even as the Lord Yahweh my power commanded me." This is Moses. "That ye should do so in the land whither ye go to possess it. Keep therefore and do them. For this is your wisdom and your understanding in the sight of the nations," right? This is our wisdom and our understanding. And this comes from Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai. This goes to a lesson that I did. Why do we read all the time? Why do we teach all the time? Because it leads us to Yahushai. This is our wisdom and our knowledge. This helps us to fight this battle of this flesh, so that we can be worthy in the eyes of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai and get that salvation. We're not in this place just to look good and have money, right? It says, "Surely this your wisdom and your understanding the sight of the nations, which shall hear all these things." It says, "Surely this is a great and wise and understanding nation," right? They not saying, you got people speaking bad on the children of the Israelites, the Hebrew Israelites. But it's about to be a moment, the more the hell break loose here, eventually these people are going to really recognize, especially the nations. Soon as we really get that moment with Yahweh, they're going to really know, right? Especially when we come back down, you know, after being, you know, beamed up in the destruction after that point of time, they're going to really know who the hell we is, man. It says, "For what nation is there so great, who have God so nigh unto them as the Lord power, the Lord Yahweh our power is in all these things that we call upon him for? And what nation is there so great, that have statutes and judgment so righteous as all this law, which I set before you this day? Only take heed to thyself and keep thy soul diligently," right? You got to keep your soul diligently. This is and I even fired because a brother that Yarmayan put me on. I can't remember the whole YouTube page, but GMS Levi, where he says, let me look at the title of this joint, because I'm not about to mess up that video, man. That brother was getting in there at an early morning, man. Let me see. It said, "Pour into the new creature." That new creature is that spirit within you. You know, you got to keep pouring into it, right? So that's why it says, "Thy soul, keep thy soul diligently, lest thou forget the things which thy eyes have seen, lest they depart from thy heart all the days of thy life, but teach them thy sons' sons," right? We got to teach our sons, and you're going to teach your daughters, but who's more important? The sons. That little verse right there shall humble you, sisters, right? From a woman all the way to a daughter. That boy is first. A man that you see in your house is first. Proverbs 8 and 4. I don't even care if you got, even if you in this truth. A man is first, you know? So how much more if that man, if you under a man, like truly in his truth, and he not fully walking in this thing, you might be destroyed just because of him. But just imagine if your faith was really in this thing and he was an unbeliever, yo, your house is going to make it through you. But say if he is a believer, but he's off and he leading you another way, your whole house can be consumed. This is why a man has to take this serious. You know, this is for you to come back and remember, brother, because you got to teach this whole thing. Women is not going to fully be able to go in the blue letter and really be developed in this every day. You got kids you got to take care of. You on your period. Most of y'all being y'all emotions and feelings. You can't even teach. So there's no point of even explaining that to y'all. When it comes to, you got this one lady I just seen when the elder was going. She said, brothers is so aggressive. The Lord tell us to cry out loud with a trumpet and spare no one. People really think that you got to be, Yahushua was all stern. This shit is not just pleasant and nice hugs and kisses. You got to get all stern. You got to talk about that our women is bald-headed. You got to talk about the LGB12 community, man. But this not about me getting in your face. But as soon as somebody don't like what they hear, now they want to, yeah, ha-ba-da-da-da, ha, shibbity-shabbity, shabbity hoobity-hoobla. You know? Because y'all not ready for this because y'all too effeminate or y'all too much in y'all emotions and feelings, men or women. The humble is going to receive it, however it is. As long as it's truth, the humble is going to receive it. Yo, I heard people cussing. I heard people getting nasty, and I'm accepting it. You need to hear that. You need to hear that you messed up. You need to hear that this is a privilege. You know? So you got to tell your sons this, man, and keep it diligently. So back to Psalms 111, verse 4, he have made his wonderful works to be remembered, and the Lord Yahweh is gracious and full of compassion. I'm going to get this one. It's another little classic, Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5, because even more, it's the men of the Lord that's going out here to teach these words, right? So that's what I'm going to really lean on to, because that's how even more the Lord is allowing us to remember. Jeremiah chapter 1, verse 5, it says, I'll start at 4. It says, "In the word of the Lord Yahweh came unto me, saying, Before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee." Right? And the Lord sanctified the teachers. He sanctified the elect. He purified them. "Thee, and I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations." Right? Here he's a prophet to the nations, even more because Israel is in the nations. How much more the men of the Lord on this side? Right? So let me go to this second Ezra, the first chapter, in verse 5. It lines up with Isaiah 58 and 1. Second Ezra chapter 1, verse 5. And I'm going to start at 4. It says, "The word of the Lord Yahweh Shema Shai came unto me, saying," this is Ezra, right? E-Z-R-A, Ezra, "the word of Yahweh Shema Shai came unto him. Go thy way and show my people their sinful deeds, and their children their wickedness, which they have done against me, that they may tell their children's children." How is he going to show them? Is he going to do a damn backflip? He's going to show them because how he's going to show them? By opening up the book, right? Let's go to another history. I brought this out in the last video I just did. Look how that works. Look how that works. Lord just going to bring you right back to it. Just so you can make the scriptures make sense together. This is First Maccabees chapter 3 in verse 48. It says, "And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images." Let me start at 46. Let me not be disrespectful. Verse 46. "Wherefore the Israelites," so now we know who this is talking about. The Israelites assembled themselves together. So the Israelites assembled themselves together, came to Mashpah over against Jerusalem. For in Mashpah was the place where they prayed aforetime in Israel. Then they fast that day and put on sackcloth, cast ashes upon their heads, and rent their clothes. So these is Israelites that's doing this. And laid open the book of the law, wherein the heathen had sought to paint the likeness of their images. So all the prophets was reading through the law. When the prophets' book got written and it was, pushed out, all the prophets was, oh, this prophet said this, or I'm Isaiah and I'm prophet, because he had his book and he was prophesying. Some of the prophets was prophesying to the southern kingdom, and then you had other prophets in the northern kingdom, right? And they was prophesying what the Lord was giving them the vision to prophesy. Bing, 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 bing. You even had Daniel. He was prophesying to the nations too, right? To certain kings. Nebuchadnezzar, this is what's going to happen to you, because that was going to usher these other beasts after that. And that's a wonder of the Lord. Daniel chapter 1, chapter 2, chapter 3, chapter 4, chapter 5, chapter 6, chapter 7, chapter 8, chapter 9, chapter 10, verse 11, chapter 11, chapter 12, right? They getting it in there. Esdras, dang near the whole second Esdras is going into visions, man. Apocalyptic or catastrophic visions or end time prophecies, especially second Esdras 15 and 16, which goes into like Jacob's trouble, right? And then you got second Esdras 11 and 12, which goes into the Rome, going to a more depth of the Roman Empire, And then you got what? Second Esdras the 6th, which reiterates the beginning all over again. Then you go, I believe in, second Esdras the 14th chapter, and you get to see that the Lord used Esdras to rewrite the first 5 books of the Bible, man. So that's beautiful. So where was I? Oh yeah. So when we read second Esdras chapter 1, verse 5, where we showing our people their sinful deeds and their children their wickedness which they have done against me, that they may tell their children's children. That's why you're teaching your son and your daughter, right? Because we need to know our past. And I'm gonna close out with that verse, because it's in my head, and the ones that know, they know. The ones that know, they know. What do we want? We want Isaiah 58, just to show this lines up with that second Esdras 1 and 5. It's Isaiah 58 and 1. It says, cry aloud and spare not. Lift up thy voice like a trumpet, and show my people their transgressions, in the house of Jacob their sins. Right? The prophets have to go and do these teachings, man. Right? Hold on, I got another one. In Ephesians 4 and 11. These are the ones that's going to be teaching this word and in truth. This is Ephesians chapter 4, verse 11. And he gave some apostles, and some prophets, and some evangelists, and some pastors, and some teachers, for the perfecting of the saints, which on this side is the elect of the children of Israel, for the work of the ministry, for the edifying of the body of Hamashiach, till we all come in the unity of faith. That's why we still teaching until the unity of this faith is in one, right? Because unity is oneness, one mind. We're all singing. It's not, oh, we're singing the same thing in the law. No, let's be real. Yahweh Shem Shai want the apostles, the prophets, the evangelists, the pastors, and the teachers to sound as one song, perfecting, right? It says, until we all come in the unity of faith, right? The oneness, one mind in the faith, in the knowledge of the Son of God, unto a perfect man, unto the measure of the stature of the fullness of Hamashiach, that we henceforth be no more children tossed to and fro. That's why it's going to be a one mind track with these children, because they're not going to be tossed to and fro and confused and carried about with every wind of doctrine by the sleight of men in a cunning craftiness, whereby they lie in wait to deceive. All praise to Yahweh Shem Shai. The Lord is allowing these elect men to gravitate to that one song, right? So now I'm going to close out with this. This is Romans chapter 15, verse 4. It says, "For whatsoever things were written aforetime were written for our learning, that we through patience and comfort of the scriptures might have hope." So when we read through these scriptures, right, we're going to have hope. Because if the Lord did wonders, Psalms 111 verse 4, he hath made his wonderful works to be remembered. The Lord Yahweh is gracious and full of compassion. What is it? 2 Timothy 2 and 15. Study to show thyself approved. A true child of the Lord is going to study and be just like the children of old. They're going to do a deep search. They're going to want to, hey, with the Lord this, we got all these freaking distractions, and it's taking you away from remembering. Look at the Lion King. What did Mufasa tell his son? Remember who you are. In order for us to remember who we are, we have to remember Yahweh Shem Yahushai. We're mostly going to start in the beginning, really starting with Moses, when the Lord gave him that name. Of course, you're going to start in Genesis. Everybody going to start in the beginning. But as soon as I met Israelites, I started with Deuteronomy 28. But the first chapter I read was Romans 9, and I seen the Lord hated somebody. I didn't know God he hates somebody. So I had to do a deep dive about the nation. So I did go in Genesis. And I marked up Genesis 10, but I didn't know enough. But as soon as I started dealing with Moses, because I kept seeing people quote the curses and laws, I went to Deuteronomy 28 first. And I'm like, wait, hold on. This sound way slave ship, da-da-da-da. But then I couldn't really teach it. I wasn't a master. But I understood it, doing research. I understood it. I got it. I knew only 10 verses and kept doing it, right? Then eventually I met with brothers and the Lord guided me through these men, right? I said that was my last one, man. I said that was my last one, but hey, I'm in the flesh, man. This is Psalms 48, verse 14. It says, "For this power is our power forever and ever. He will be our guide even until death." Right? Because when you go to Sirach 4 and 28, you strive for the truth until death. That means you're striving to know this truth. You're striving in this truth, right? Because we see, I believe it's St. John 8 and 32, right? The truth shall set you free. Yahushua is the one that set us free, spiritually and mentally, and he's going to be the one to do it physically. Because again, 1 Timothy 1 and 12, go read it for yourself. Yahushua is the one that enabled Paul, because he seen he was faithful and he put him in the ministry. Paul allowed that to be in his letter because it was for us. And if you're in this ministry, even if you're a teacher, if you're not a teacher, if you're in this truth and you're a woman, even if you're a man or a child and you're fully in this truth, you know the name of the Lord and you're using the name of the Lord and you're constantly going through this thing, through this suffering, battling the flesh, battling the things that to be, right? Yahweh Shem Yahushai put you in this ministry, man. And he's the one guiding us. You might be following the wrong teacher, but the Lord is giving you steps and showing you where not to go or how not to move. So when you go here, you got all this thought, oh man, let me not do that. Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai is undefeated, man. So again, you know, keep dabbling into the wonders of the Lord, man, because this is endless, very endless, you know. Sorry it couldn't be long, but that's the whole point of it, man. The whole point. So I'm going to give all praise to Yahweh, B'Shem Yahushai, B'Shem Rakak Wadash. Man, for the new members that's getting on the channel, Yahweh is the Most High God, and Yahushai is who the world inly calls Jesus the Christ. The Rakak Wadash is the Holy Spirit, the Paleo Hebrew, and double honors to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well through the Spirit, teaching His word and believing His word, Lord willing, that they can continue to endure and be sincere. And a mighty shalom to the hopeful elect that are scattered four corners of the earth, teaching His word and believing His word, Lord willing, the same Spirit, that they endure and be sincere. And a shalom to the Akwatiyum that are believers of the faith, Lord willing, you can continue to pursue your lot, which is being a loving and silent and virtuous wife. And Lord willing, the Most High have mercy on the other brothers and sisters that's not of faith. Till next time. Shalom.